Good morning, YouTube and traders. Hope you're all doing good. Had a great week so far. Today, the 7th of June, almost about 1 week into the new month. We'll probably see a new weekly candle close by the end of this week, obviously. This week has been up and down so far. Literally, you can see GU just up and down, up and down. So we have some solid consolidation happening over here. So nothing other than just sideways moving market. So it's really a difficult environment to trade in. It's not as great or as clean as you would like it to be. So it makes it a bit difficult to trade. But we're going to just quickly have a look through the daily, through all the pairs, and then we'll jump to the lower time frames. Once we just have an overview of what the general sentiment is of the cross pairs, pound, dollar, euro, dollar, Aussie, dollar, so we can get a sense of what the dollar might be doing by just looking at what the other pairs could be telling us. So first of all, we're reacting off of this imbalance after we swept this high. So we swept this high, reacting off of this imbalance, and we're seeing price push lower, but we're also seeing this just sideways moving market now. So there's nothing really happening that's worth grabbing our attention. So on the lower time frames, we'll probably get more detail, but currently just mark out this prominent high and this low, which would then be our buy side liquidity and our sell side liquidity. If we run this low, I do think we could come down all the way towards this imbalance that's left over here. So I do think this is probably left there on purpose, because why didn't this candle just trade down into it and then continue up higher? Well, obviously we don't know all the answers. We just trade what we see. So if we see some breakoutness and some bearishness, structure continuing bearish, I do think we will be looking at sells primarily. But that's just on the daily for GU. So far, sells could be a viable option on GU. So you can make a note of that. Then pound yen is also interesting. We're running up all the way up into this daily imbalance as well. And we have this supply area up there as well, which could potentially be an area for reaction or just a reaction of this area. So potentially on the lower time frames for GJ, I would be looking or anticipating some sort of shift in structure, just the same way as GU reacted off of this imbalance. You see there's a push up, rejection, came back up into it, failed to make a higher high. Let me show you there. We pushed up, pushed down, rejected, pushed up again, but then failed to make a higher high, and the price started making lower highs, starting the bearish trend towards the downside. So it does seem that we are in a bearish trend on GU. So GJ might just be lagging a bit before it starts to follow GU. So in this imbalance right now, I'm eager to see what happens on the lower time frames, and do we see a potential shift in character, shift in structure, shift in market flow and order flow, and then potentially get some shorts. Currently, I would expect price just to fill this imbalance that it has left here so far, just to trade back into this range. That's currently my expectation. Potentially seeing it trade down to this area. That's more or less what I would be looking for to get out of a trading day in terms of what the daily suggests. Then have a look at Aussie dollar. We can see price swept this high, and we're reacting off of the imbalance that was left in there. You can see we tapped into it. I do think sales could be an option for for Aussie dollar as well. Just looking at the structure, it's still in a relatively bearish trend. We did sweep above this high. We haven't yet come back up all the way towards this supply area, but I think this kind of is too obvious. This is the typical break and retest, return to order block type of thing. I don't think it's going to be that obvious. So I do think we need to start looking at the less obvious route and the less obvious course of action. So just take note of this. very corrective price action towards the upside. We might see some further impulsiveness going lower, so we'll keep an eye out for that on the 1 hour. Then lastly, Euro dollar. Yeah, so what I'm seeing here is reacting off of this order block. The bottom is there. So all of these candles is, for me, the bearish order block. It's really big, so I think we could probably just refine into this one for now. Up close candles, and then we had this sell-off. You see price coming down into the bottom of that range, tapping it, seeing the rejection going lower, pull back, and then also just stuck in range right now. So EU is also just ranging, nothing more than just ranging. We have the top with the bottom. We can actually just move this one down to there. And I'll keep this one over here, or move it down to this week, just to get a more closer target so that we don't have to hold too long. So this is currently the scenario. We're ranging in between these two areas. Price initially did fill this imbalance. This imbalance right over there, to tap it and then push towards the upside, and now it's just ranging. So personally, I'm not going to touch EU. It's just not moving, I feel like, really properly. So now let's have a look again at GU. We're going to just jump to the 1 hour 50 minute and just have a look what we can see over there. So now on GU, this is what I've noted. These two lines is what we've marked out on the higher time frame. So this, I do believe, is our, would we say, trading range, or just the range that we're currently within. But it's, for me, it's just the extremes in terms of liquidity points, where we have the buy side and the sell side. Obviously, we have some in between, like we have this low as well, and we have this high as well. So for argument's sake, we could keep it simple and just move it towards these areas, just knowing that we have it below as well. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, interesting. You'll see on the 15 minute, this was a relatively prominent high that we swept and then started trading lower. Initially, I thought when we rejected off of this high and started trading lower, I thought we're just going to kind of consolidate, and then we could get a nice sweep of liquidity and then maybe continue higher, or a sweep above and then continue lower. But really, this is just horrible price action. We'll look at the Asian range in just a bit, but it's really just, it's not a good environment to trade in. This is not, you can just see, just look at these candles. They're all over the place. We have wicks towards the downside, then we have these small ranging candles, and then we have some bit of momentum coming in. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. So the only thing that I think of, we can play the range, and if we see a buy opportunity from this area, we trade it back up. But don't shoot for the moon. Don't shoot for the moon. It's not going to be worth it. In terms of price action for buys, so we're kind of seeing price starting to push up, starting to want to break structure. We have some equal lows. Liquidity. We have some equal lows down there as well. So it does kind of start to set up, but where do you target? Do you target this area, or this area, or what do you do? So first of all, we could just place a premium and discount on it and see what happens. Where is price likely to reach to? But now look at this. This is Asian session in and half an hour ago. Now we have this momentum coming in. No, guys, GU is not in a good place right now. So I'm not expecting to see trades on this pair today. I can just tell you that it's going to be a quiet day for me, because for my plan, I'm not seeing what I need to see to take a trade. I feel uncomfortable, but we're reacting off of this area. This area for me is a good area. We had a sweep of liquidity, push towards the upside, but really didn't break any structure going higher. This down move, yeah, so let's see what happens, how this closes. We could potentially see some continuation trades if we get something like this. That's all that I have right now. The 5 minute, the lower time frame order flow is still bullish. Let's see if we break this area. If we can break this area, then potentially I do think we could see some more upside movement. I wouldn't sell from here. It's just too strong into this area. It's not the right time. Let's have a quick look at the Asian session, because I do think the Asian session was a bit of a really big movement. So there is our high and our low. So just Asian session ended, we had this big push up. So this could be potentially then actually a sell area if we sweep the Asian high, fill this imbalance, tap into this area, and then see further continuation lower. If this, however, happens, if we do get a push into this area and then see a nice selling opportunity, then probably it could be worth taking. This morning I need to take our little boy to the clinic to get his injections, vaccinations. So I won't be available for London session, unfortunately. I'm not going to say more on GU. It's not that good to look at. To be honest, it's just not looking sweet. Yeah, I don't like it. So let's pay attention to, let's quickly have a look at GJ. First 1 hour. I'm going to take this away because we're currently trading in this area. So let's see price take out a high and then drop lower. So what do I mean by this? Take out a high, drop lower before we can look for trades. Something like this on the lower time frames as well. So that's kind of the idea that we need to be looking at. Guys, that is going to be it from me this morning. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not a very good trading day so far. And we'll need to see what happens throughout the day. Potentially New York session could be better. If I'm able to, I'll send a markup for New York session as we go along. So then lastly, a lot of you have asked about the community, the course I'm doing. It's coming along. A lot of work to be put in, but it should be available and ready in 2 weeks' time, the weekend of the 24th and 25th, that weekend. It should be available. Then we'll have a launch. We'll have a party, celebration. No, I'm just kidding. But we'll have something, do something. Announcements and some more info. I'll put up some more info later this week on what exactly can be expected and what should not be expected. No, don't expect your typical SMC trading group. It's not that. I wish you have a great day, and then I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.